Of wild-caught fish and the unsustainability of the aquaculture industry, prices for fresh fish and seafood are 106.61% higher in 2021 versus 1997. In addition, half of the living corals have died since the 1950s, and researchers discovered that coral reef-associated biodiversity dropped by 63%. Good morning, we are Radio Reef from Miami Palmetto Senior High School, Florida. We intend to increase the simplicity and convenience of coral reef restoration and increase the productivity of fish farms. Our product is a speaker with a twofold purpose: to reduce the stress of fish larvae, in turn decreasing the mortality rate, and to attract fish to dying coral reefs, which will begin to restore them. Our target market is a multinational aquaculture companies and big coral reef restoration groups. These big companies would be willing to buy our product due to the low risk factor and potential it offers to its growth. The first tier of non-customers are smaller aquaculture companies. The second tier of non-customers are older aquaculture executives who do not want to change the way they do things. The third tier of non-customers would be companies using voluntary carbon credits. Our plan is to eliminate the use of antibiotics and chemicals in fish farms, create a new way to increase the amount of fish produced in farms and a new way to restore coral reefs, reduce the use of probiotics in fish farms, and raise baseline survival rate of fish larvae by 2 to 3%. Compared to API Stress Coat, one of our major competitions, we offer better versatility, reusability, and simplicity. Per unit, we are more expensive, however. Our speakers and intellectual property are reusable, coming into a relatively small market of competitors. We are the first company to offer a sound-based stress reduction solution. Many federally managed fisheries and businesses that rely on coral reef tourism would jump at the opportunity to use cheap technology to benefit their coral reefs. Approximately half of the federally managed fisheries are dependent on coral reefs. The science is backed by an international team of scientists from the UK's University of Exeter and University of Bristol, and Australia's James Cook University and Australian Institute of Marine Science. Boosting fish populations in this way could help to kickstart natural recovery processes, counteracting the damage we're seeing on many coral reefs around the world, said lead author Tim Gordon of the University of Exeter. The logic behind the science and the science to help decrease the mortality rate is to mimic the natural environment using sounds. Coral reefs comprise an area of almost 300,000 square kilometers, each square kilometer estimated to be worth an economic value of 100,000 to 600,000, making it one of the most valuable ecosystems on Earth. Although restoration efforts have been highly successful at the local level, there is a necessity for new ways of approaching restoration to affect it on the global level. However, our target consumers are fish farmers who will benefit the most from Radio Reef. Reducing the mortality of fish larvae by just 1% is the difference between millions of dollars in profit. This will be possible by reducing the stress of the fish, which will in turn reduce the amount of cortisol secreted. Fish react to stress very similarly to humans, and when you take them out of their natural environment, they will inevitably become stressed out. We will tackle the 4 hurdles to strategy acquisition by using sound to decrease the mortality rate is unconventional but much cheaper than the current options, such as probiotic resources include an intellectual property and a strategic. Using our intellectual property and strategic plan partnership to JBL is in our advantage. Selling to developed countries and using the fact that it is university agreed that coral reefs need to be protected. Also, staying motivated with our young 21st century mission-driven staff. Our company will make money off the profit off of the sales of the speakers to the fisheries, fish farms, and businesses, and economies that depend on coral reef's natural beauty for customers and tourism. We are a 21st century mission-driven brand with a committed young staff of 6 people and growing.